kilometers long. Meanwhile, the route of the wall is 670 kilometers. Definitely it is more than double the length. Why?
The district of Qalqilia is home to about 100,000 Palestinians and boasts some of the richest agricultural land in the West Bank. But Qalqilia has been walled in, so that Israel can annex the Israeli settlements around the district. Look at what's happened to the city and surrounding villages, how they've been choked, cut off from each other, Palestinian from Palestinian, caged in by surrounding walls and fences, separated from their livelihood, their land. The farmers of Qalqilia have become landless.
عيلتي 12 واحد ومش عارف شو بدي اسوي فيهم وين بدي اروح فيهم وكيف بدي اعيشهم. الجدار هذا طبعا هم اذا ظل بس ان شاء الله ما بضل وان شاء الله راح يزول باذن الله تعالى. انا املي بالله كبير يعني. فالجدار هذا اذا ظل رايح البلد هاي يعني ما اعتقدش انها رايحه تظل كمان في المستقبل. اذا حوطوها بمستعمرات جميعها بده يبقى فيها من فوق ال 200 500 الف صهيوني فيها. 100% رايحين يرحلوها منها. هي الصوره ثابته وواضحه لما بيخللوكش ولا متر إلك تبني فيه، معناته انت محطوط في قفص واخذوا الارض وعملوا ديال نسياج وجدار داير ما يدور، والارض هذه مشان تروح للمستوطنين. يعني تطلع جميع كل داير منطقه راس عطيه جميعها جدار، وين نروح؟ وارضنا جوا الجدار من تل المستعمرين من تل المستوطنين. فما فيش مجال يعني فيش مصدر رزق نهائي ابدا. يعني هاي البلد انحطت في سجن رسمي يعني سجن مكفول.
في قرية راس عطية تبعد عنا 2 كيلومتر تقريبا. إذا بدي أفوت لعندهم لازم يكون معي تصريح، وهذا التصريح إذا ما كانش موجود معي حتى في بيتي ما بقدر أبات في بيتي.
هذا الجدار برك من نص الأرض، قسم الأرض قسمين وكلع كل زيتون وخرب الأرض كلها.
الزيتون لما هم يقصوا فيه حامل والأولاد تحته في الشجرة ويعيطوا، وإحنا نكون إن شاء الله ولا هذا رزقتنا. ما الناس إشي يعني هناك إلا هالقطعة.
אני אתן לך בראש, תזהר מזה. دتوني يابا دتوني يابا يلا زيكون يا زيكيلا مش ليش تعال اشتغل زيكون ليش زيكون قبل
An olive tree takes between 7 to 10 years to bear a fruit. And the Israeli bulldozers uproot it and steal it in a minute. The tree for us as Palestinians is alive. We will keep planting and we will keep on living.
The wall, of course, does not stop in Qalqilia. Its path continues 22 kilometers deep inside the West Bank, encircling and annexing the settlement block of Ariel. The Ariel block splits the West Bank into almost 2 pieces. It creates small enclaves of isolated Palestinian communities and destroys any chance of having a future contiguous state of Palestine. The wall continues its path, encircling and annexing more settlements and more Palestinian land. while devastating many farming communities in its path. Hundreds of thousands of olive trees have been uprooted, 35,000 meters of irrigation network destroyed, more than 40 water wells lost. In the path of the wall, there were many trees, many homes, many farms, many people, and every one of them has its own story. The story of the wall is a long and painful one, and it continues on to the city most devastated by the wall, Jerusalem, and its twin city, Bethlehem. Upon completion of the wall in Jerusalem, tens of thousands of Palestinians will find themselves outside the walls of the city, cut off from their city and their livelihood. By doing this, Israel will have succeeded in changing the demographic makeup of the holy city.
It's heartbreaking what's happening in Jerusalem. You know, at the beginning of this year, it took us months to figure out how to send thousands of children to their schools and teachers to their classes. The walls zigzag in and around Jerusalem, Jews in and Palestinians out. Mothers unable to reach hospitals to deliver their babies, children unable to reach their schools, Muslims and Christians unable to reach their holy places to worship. It is a war against our existence that Israel is waging. Settlements and the wall are the tools to achieve their obsession of Judaizing the place.
Israel is using its settlements to fragment the Palestinian presence in Jerusalem, to destroy East Jerusalem as a coherent urban and economic entity, and in that way to destroy the economic heart of any Palestinian state. It's like an onion. You have concentric circles of settlements. You have huge settlement cities. You have more Israelis living today in Palestinian East Jerusalem in settlements than you have Palestinians. More than 200,000. So if you take Piskat Ze'ev, Neve Yaakov, Ramot, and a lot of other settlement neighborhoods in between, this is what we call the inner ring of settlements that protects the entire municipal city of Jerusalem in terms of keeping a Jewish majority and Israeli control. But then around that you have what's called Greater Jerusalem, which really occupies the entire central portion of the West Bank. And here you have the settlement cities that are the outer ring of settlements. Givat Ze'ev and Ma'ale Adumim and the Etzion block and Efrat and other cities, so that what they do is they control the center of the West Bank for Israel. They prevent any territorial contiguity between the northern West Bank and the south for Palestinian movement. They lock Palestinians into these island ghettos in East Jerusalem, isolate them from the rest of the West Bank, and they neutralize Jerusalem as an economic presence for the Palestinians. Because without a Jerusalem that's integrated into a Palestinian state, the Palestinian state loses all its economic viability. It becomes a third world country in which people will live in little villages and live off subsistence agriculture. That's all it is. All the developmental potential of the country is kept by Israel. And here is where Jerusalem is really the heart of the struggle, in a sense. Because without Jerusalem, you don't have a viable Palestinian state. And without the settlements around Jerusalem, Israel can't really control the entire area that it wants to control forever. So Jerusalem is really the key.
The town of Jesus has its own story. Israel surrounded Bethlehem with a concrete wall, confiscating half of its land and placing that land on the Israeli side of the wall for the future expansion of the surrounding settlements.